It was once easy for humanity to ignore our place in the universe. For millennia we evolved, cocooned upon our home planet, shielded from the dark beyond us. We did not know what that dark place was, how to define it, or experience it, but we understood its importance. We watched the sun rise within it every morning, bringing the safety of light to our world, and felt the radiant warmth that she provided. We observed the moon, its phases, and watched as it brought in and out the tides. We pondered the stars, their origins, their purpose and being, and strained our necks, staring into the night skies. We imagined wonderful things and attempted to conceptualize a definition. What was it like out there? Who lives there, and why? We came up with many reasons. We had to. It was part of us. This we innately understood. Some explanations of our condition were observable and verifiable, and some spiritual, wholesome, and fulfilling. But we did not know. We never could have known. Then, on a spring day in 1961, we sent one of us up there to find out. Since the inception of our species, about 108 billion people have existed on planet Earth. Of these people, only some 600 have left the surface of our planet and ventured into space. 600 out of 108 billion people. Of those, only a dozen have set foot on another world, our moon. The contrast in these numbers is striking, and goes a long way to reveal how few of us have actually experienced the environment of space. Down here, on the surface, we look up. But up there, the perspective changes. Earth is below you. You are no longer grounded, and you exist in a microgravity environment. The old familiarity of Earth and its conditions remain in your mind, but one is physically removed from it, and a new reality begins to set in. You realize that you are in space, and the Earth is too. Many of those who have gone to space return home with a changed perspective. Researchers call this experience the overview effect. The phrase was coined by space philosopher and author Frank White in his book by the same name. Within it, he explains that the overview effect is a cognitive shift in awareness as a result of the experience of seeing firsthand the reality that the Earth is in space. The reality that the Earth is in space. We all know this to be true. We have learned it from our peers, from pictures and the movies. The Earth is a floating orb in an infinite expanse. So what else is new? But there is a difference between knowing this and experiencing it. We often use the common expression, "You had to be there," and for good reason. To experience something firsthand is to have felt it with your whole being. A movie or a picture provides a two-dimensional representation of a moment, but it cannot replace being there. A story is expressive, and our imaginings of it can be vivid and enjoyable, but stories lack the clarity of experience. Virtual reality gets us closer, but it is only a simulation and provides only auditory and visual perspective. To actually see your own planet with your own eyes is to feel it within yourself. Some researchers believe that the overview effect may be an incredibly positive aspect of spaceflight, giving insight and an overall feeling of well-being to an astronaut despite the extreme conditions. The level of influence of the overview effect differs between one space traveler to the next. Some are profoundly influenced, regarding it as a life-changing event. Some respond in a more subtle way and speak of the experience stoically. And it can depend on the mission. There is a difference between seeing Earth from the International Space Station, where one cannot see its totality, or from deep space, where it takes on the qualities of a blue marble. The latter may have provided a more pronounced and profound perspective, but both situations have revealed, to a degree, how cosmic travelers come to view the Earth. One thing that most space travelers can agree on is the unavoidable realization of Earth's vulnerability. One can learn of the thinness of our atmosphere in science books, but books are merely vessels of knowledge and written word, and cannot express the totality of the experience behind their conception. The true nature of our wafer-thin atmosphere can only be conveyed through observation. One must feel the realization of its fragility. You have to be there. Such accounts of mankind's journey into space help to put our world in perspective. Without this first-hand experience, without actually being there, most of us rely on the words of these explorers to gain insight into our world and its interconnectedness. And interconnected we are. It is easy to know that this is so, but to see it, to see the Earth as it truly is, from the perspective of the universe itself, has changed many an astronaut's motivations. It is easy to lose sight of what matters while stuck here on the surface. Our squabbles are countless. Our worries are real. We get caught up in ourselves and our personal plights and swirl in frivolous conflict. But go to space and you may lose interest in such trivial matters and gain insights that only other spacegoers can understand. From out there on the moon, international politics looks so petty. You want to grab a politician by the scruff of the neck and drag him 250,000 miles out and say, Look at that, you son of a bitch. In some ways, that simple statement is the essence of what these astronauts have been trying to tell us. Look at it, and you will understand. The Earth is a precious relic from antiquity. We have benefited from her unique properties and thrived in an otherwise hostile universe. But our time here has occupied but a sliver of its history, giving us a false sense of security. The Earth is fragile. Our ancestors could not have truly known. They could have only imagined what it was like to be out there, staring down at the Earth, instead of up at the sky. We today are fortunate. We have learned the ability to leave our homeworld and gain an overview that was once thought impossible. Now that we know our circumstances, let us hope that this has a positive effect, so that we can finally realize our true condition, adapt, and survive.